Hello, welcome to another Tip Tuesday. My name is Adam Waymer, and I am going to be taking you through this message. The charges below are filtered based upon current login. We're going to talk a little bit about what it means, why it's there, and some potential uses for it that you may not have encountered. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. This is all performed in version 13.0.13, which is our latest release. If you're on our cloud and haven't been updated yet and are wanting to go to version 13, please shoot an email to support. And of course, if you have a question on this or you need help with anything, just shoot an email to support. We're always here to help. Secondly, this video is probably a tip on concepts that if you're newer to charges or haven't worked in charges with IndySoft, you're going to want to spend a little time with that before you interact with this video. Um, there's some great videos on the set charges utility that one of our employees, Angelina, did. Nick Bates does a really nice video on charges in general. That's probably the best place to start. So I would take a look at those. Again, they're on our page. Just search for charges on YouTube on the IndySoft page, and you will find those videos. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the charges below are filtered based upon current login. What does that mean? So in IndySoft, there are a variety of uses for charge types. There are many things you might bill a customer for. And that varies based on all of our customers, what your charge types might be. It's pretty common for a lot of our customers to have a repair charge or a calibration charge or a maintenance charge, things like that. But you might have multiple scenarios. We have some customers that have a few, five, six, seven. We have some customers that have hundreds. It just depends on you. So the reasons that you might show or hide those charges are all based on your configuration. And most people are going to be pretty familiar because in the past they've controlled how charges show inside an event itself. What should go into an event? And again, all of those can be filtered based on various reasons so that the user only sees what's relevant to them in that moment. So at the equipment level or even the template level, we have these charges already, so it can automatically push into those events as well because we want to automate as much as possible. So this particular company, Calco, I might have charges that aren't relevant to them. I might have charges that are only relevant to certain customers or certain types of customers. So if someone comes in here and looks at this, they're going to be, well, what else is going on? If you're a system admin, or if you have a certain profile security setting set, it's called block user from viewing filtered charges. If that's checked or unchecked, you'd be able to see these. But for me, I'm a system admin, so I can click this and see there's a hidden accredited charge. It's not relevant to this particular customer. So how are these things set up and controlled? Again, I mentioned that there are various charge types that a lot of IndySoft customers have. That's all done system-wide here at the charge type level. This is where I create all of my charge types. And then from there, when I have one, in this case, I have an accredited charge. Right now it's saying accredited cal is checked. So what does that mean? It's another layer to it. That is a system-wide label I have at the company level, so I can set multiple companies to get accredited cals. And I'll show that real quick. So let me just take a step out of here. Come in here to the admin panel, click on system-wide preferences, and you will see my user-defined labels. Accredited cal for company user-defined status box labels. That's me saying, okay, what do these status boxes in IndySoft mean? Another company's accredited cal might be status box 10 or a variety of other things. It's all configurable to your needs. So in this case, I've used status 1. So where do I even see that? How do I control that? How do I manipulate that? How do I make it relevant? So again, that was a company label. So if I come inside our company section of the software and pull up a specific company, you'll see now on the company status that label is present. All of the others are just blank, but the one I modified is now accredited cal, which means every other place in the software knows that that field's accredited cal. So when I make a filter box and I see accredited cal, it's saying, look at the company, see if that's checked. Pretty simple. And then if I come over to another company, use Calco as another example, it's unchecked. So we know that Cyberdyne's definitely going to get accredited calibrations. So let's see what that looks like. If I were to come in here, and another layer to this is charge templates and what I'm going to be showing. And again, there's a video on that as well if you haven't used it. So I have set up a transducer charge template. What does that mean? So one more step back. If you're Comfortable dealing with template charges. You might have a ton of different manufacturers and models, but you actually charge for your calibration work or your repair work the same for all of them. So you don't want to have to go into a template and say, I'm setting up my accredited charge for this man model or this man model and this man model when there is consistency with how you're charging anyway. And that's where the charge template comes in. It's a level above it. I've got a caliper, 0 to 6 inches. I charge the same thing. I don't care what type of caliper it is. So in this case, I just made one for transducer, and I added 2 charge types, one for accredited and one for calibration. And you'll note too, oops, the promotion profile doesn't have permission for that. If I come in here to the calibration charge, I also have a filter box here as well. So I can further control everything based on other fields, especially at, let's say, the equipment level. A lot of power behind that and probably worth another video. We're just talking about why things get filtered at the equipment level in the first place. So either way, I have my transducer set and I have it applied to 2 different pieces of equipment. This Calco asset, and you'll note all I see is the calibration charge. But let's go to Cyberdyne, because Cyberdyne's who we said gets accredited calibrations. Switch over to it. You now see the accredited charge appear because the filter box is saying this company's accredited cal, let me see it. Now, you might have scenarios where they only get accredited cals and you can set up controls based on that. But this might be a situation where sometimes they want accredited, sometimes they want a regular calibration. It varies. All of that is configurable. And those are the types of questions and thoughts you need to think about when you're setting up your charges in IndySoft. How are you billing? How do you make these decisions? Do you have special contracts with customers? The filtering allows you to create more control and better visibility, because I might not want my technicians to see anything like this. And that's actually another special feature we have here in Profile Manager. Let me pull that up real quick here. All right, so in Profile Manager, I mentioned earlier there was one just for filtered charges, so you could make sure that a user could, see everything if need be. That's controlled here. But another really nice feature that we have is you might not want anyone to see anything at all in terms of charges. Let me pull this up. So hide charge amounts from display. This doesn't include any reporting. If you build a custom report or anything like that that outputs charges, it would still show. But if you check this status on, when I was in equipment view, not only would it be filtered, I wouldn't see any charges whatsoever. The technicians wouldn't have any idea of what's there. So I've touched on probably 15 areas of the software in this one video. So a quick tilder is that basically you have the ability to filter charge types in IndySoft so that you can show the relevant information and add the relevant information as needed based on your particular setup. You can also completely hide charges from people's view if you want them to. There are many ways to set up charges in IndySoft, whether you're dealing with charge templates, templates themselves, equipment level charges, and you also control that through workflow config about what can enter into the event itself. So there's a lot of moving pieces there, but I just want you to understand the filtering itself, how IndySoft filters, and I hope we've done that. If you've got more questions on charges, please reach out to support, check out our alternate videos on charges, the ones I mentioned with Nick or Angelina, and of course our help file online. If you're interested in version 13 and ready to upgrade your environment, please just reach out to support. And again, for any questions, support@indysoft.com. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great day, week, month, year.